we got a hardcore metal detectorist here. Two in the same water hole. Alright, I'm out here with Rick. He's got some new, well, generic pivot heads on. It's kind of weird. He's walking around talking to himself, but he's filming. I'm not going to show much of this area. We're actually by an old Civil War hospital. We're in a place, we're hunting around a house that was built in 1885. The house was actually moved up on the top of the hill in the 1960s. I don't know how they did it. It's pretty crazy. We just started working around the edges, down around where we think the old foundation was. We think it's right up about around here by this huge old tree where the house used to sit. And working the edges, Rick just, Rosy Rick is what we call him.
Rosy Rick.
And he just hit one, so I'll let him pull it out. But I got a good 1243 tone, so we think we're where this is where the front yard used to be, and the owner said there wasn't any fill dirt except for up where the house is now, so hopefully we can find more in here.
Yeah.
Alright, I got 1147 here, only about 2 inches down, and it's an SLQ. I popped it, it's barely under the ground, and I think this is going to be an early one. It looks like it has that look to it.
Can you get a date?
I hope so.
Nice.
You know what? I could be wrong, but I told you guys to always check your standing liberty quarters. Like I said, I might be wrong. I'll have to check this when I get home, but it's almost worn down, but the last digit almost looks like a stick, which would make it a 1. I'm not positive because it's dirty, but if that's what it is, this would be a 1921, and that would make it worth about probably $300 to $400.
Woo!
So,
sick.
I'm not sure, but I'll clean that up later. I'm not gonna rub on this one.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Nice, John.
Right, thanks. We'll see what else we can find. Alright, this is the plug where I got my SLQ. I just got a 1336 signal, and there was this Diet Coke bottle cap, and it was deeper than the SLQ. So that's kind of weird. Just goes to show you never know. Alright, I'm under an old magnolia tree. Got a 1225 tone I decided to dig because it was solid, and looks like a maple leaf. I think it's aluminum, but it's got the latch in the back there. I don't know if this is some sort of brooch. I have no idea. But pretty cool anyway. I'll get it cleaned up later. I also, around the big old tree on that side, I just got a Mary Widow's condom tin. So, interesting. See what else we can get. Alright, we've been over the front part of this, where this old house used to be. The house used to sit right in there. But this is really the only place we're finding decent targets. It's like the 3rd time over it. And I got my first Wheatie of the day. We've been here probably an hour and a half. And wanted to show a few other things. There's an old barn on the property. I don't know if I can get back in here. Yeah, we'll get back in here and show it, because I haven't even been back here yet. I think that says experience counts. Some old mason jars. That's a really old piece of furniture down there. Neat stuff back in here. And we're not sure if somebody stole this or if this is supposed to be in the property, so we're kind of avoiding this area. But it's wedged up against the side of the old driveway that leads up to the barn here. You can tell they probably stored vehicles here for a long time after the barn was really used. And the gravestone right here, so It's a shame. I don't know if somebody like stole it and dumped it here, if it's supposed to be here. I have no idea. But it's just sitting right there on the hedges. And it's not really that old of one too. It's a 1958. Let's see what else we can find. May as well show over here while I have the camera turned on. The size of this tree. First of all, the home site was right here. And don't ask me how they did it. There's the wall, retaining wall to the backyard. And in the 60s, they moved the house up there. And that's really steep. It's kind of interesting, but this tree here, absolutely massive. There's a bee's nest in the top of it up there. Not sure if you can see them swarming around. Oh yeah. Ooh, yeah, looking up in the sun. This tree is incredibly old. We'll get back at it, see if we can find anything else. So my idea for this hill is a sledding hill. You can start from up here, right by the house, slide the whole way down here really fast, and by the time you get to that retaining wall, you'd probably be going about 30 miles an hour, so you can build a ramp leading right over that retaining wall and you could just rocket right off of it. Now that would be fun. Okay, we're hunting another old house. This one was built in 1941. You can see Rick up there swinging. Actually, first target he hit a silver Washington quarter, which is kind of strange because we haven't been finding much else. I just got one memorial and one clad dime by the road here. There's an interesting older building across the other side of the road here too. I'm sure the coins have settled in deeper right in here. It's kind of sunken in a little bit here, but just in case this is silver, when I decided to film this little clay ball I found. It's an obvious high tone, so. And wow, that's just a penny. Rang up 1147. So, I'll see if there's anything else in the hole. This would explain the weird tone. I isolated the one coin, it was that penny, and then off the side of it is this huge aluminum hook. Kind of interesting here down in the clay though. The mineralization, it's down in this rock here. It's like red, orange, and yellow. That's really cool. I'm gonna take some of this. That's pretty neat. Okay, we're at another location. Cool little house that was built in 1921. And the first high signal I got, I had a target that actually fooled me, I'll show later. And the grass is so high here. I wasn't sure if this was going to be silver or not. It was bouncing between 145, like $half numbers, and then up to 1146. And it's actually right on the side here, only about an inch and a half down in the clay. And it's a silver Washington quarter. 1941. It's the date of the other house we hunted. It's like silver quarter day, which is weird because we're hardly digging any wheats. I got one wheat, Rick has one wheat from the first location we hunted where I found my SLQ, and since then we haven't really found any. You know, I know in his last hunt he was hitting some silvers and didn't hit a wheat, so it's kind of weird, but take it when the silver run lasts, because it doesn't always last for a while. So see what else we can find in here. Okay, about a yard away I got a signal that locked in 1245, 1145. It's weird though, the numbers were hitting, but the tone kind of faded out a little bit. Not sort of like it was nulling like iron a little bit, but when I opened the plug it sounded a lot better. And silver dime rim right here. It's going to be a Mercury. I think it has an S mint mark. Not sure how old it is. Nice coin. Keep hunting in here. Looks like it's going to be a good spot. Okay, I got a really solid 1213 signal. Really solid, and got a couple inches down and got an old nickel in the hole. I thought it was going to be an old Jefferson, but no, it's a buffalo. Nice. Looks like it's in pretty good shape too. It might clean up okay. The clay is so thick here, the ground's really mineralized. Signals aren't coming in quite as good, and the grass is about 5 inches high, so swing slow and see what we can pick out. Nice, good variety from this yard. Not a ton of things, but definitely goodies. Let's keep going. I got an 1143 signal that was double hitting, but it was really tight of a signal, so I decided to dig it, and I plopped my shovel up and got a little clad spill here. Not sure if there's more, but 3 pennies right on top of each other. That one's copper, and I think the other 2 are zinc. This one's a shield back, so that's going to be like 2010 or newer. It's pretty neat though. I'll check the hole while I have the camera on, see if there's more there. No, that was it. 3 pennies stacked right on top of each other. Okay, I got a really good signal here. I have to do this live. I haven't hit like a $half signal in a long time that really sounds like one, and the signal isn't dragging. I mean, you never know, but it's hitting $half numbers. Real tight of a signal. 346 at 4 inches. 1246. 546. It's just a great signal.
Nice. I'm going to film this live dig here of John's. Sounds pretty good. He's already pulled what, a Merck and a Washington?
Merck and a Washington.
Nice. I got a couple wheats in.
I'll take a Franklin half. I don't care what kind of half it is. If that's
find my standing liberty today.
If that's what it is. So I'm gonna do it live anyway to find out. I'm gonna cut a really big plug so it's silver. We don't want to scratch it. Now I have hit quarters that ring up this low on the ferrous, but
what was it, about 3 inches?
Yeah, this is coming in about 2-3 inches. The grass is high, so it's not going to be very deep.
All right, moment of truth.
Oh yeah, it sounds good.
That sounds even better.
We can hope.
Where's that silver?
Oh,
there it is.
Oh, it's a walker.
Sweet.
It's Walking Liberty half. I can see the edge of it.
I just walked right over here. I must have missed it.
Oh, it's a spill. There's a buffalo. There's a buffalo under it.
Dude, that's awesome.
I think it's a 1937.
Oh my god.
Oh gosh. Oh my goodness.
Score there.
Oh, this thing's worn slick.
Is it?
It might even be dateless.
Huh.
That's one of the most worn walkers I've ever seen. Look at that.
Dude, that's awesome.
Oh, look at that weird imprint from the buffalo on the back. Man, that thing's slick. That was probably in circulation up to the 60s.
Awesome,
set that off to the side and pull this buffalo out. Let me get a shot of it. I can see the date on the buffalo preserved it because it was upside down. The buffalo's 1937.
See.
Oh, there's a Merc underneath the buffalo.
Dude.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome.
Oh, these are all sandwiched together.
Dude, this is a
this is incredible.
Oh, wow, this is
incredible. Let me get my glove off.
Nice score.
Oh. Merck's in 1937. Same year as the buffalo.
That's sweet.
Wow.
Awesome. Well, I better get hunting. I gotta catch up to you.
Oh, I gotta check this hole again.
That's awesome.
Let me move these out of the way. I love how they have that yellow color on them.
Yeah,
I mean, stuck together.
All right, my turn.
Yeah, it's your turn. We're both having a good day though.
One or the other, so.
Okay, it was a sandwich spill because I don't think there's anything else there.
I don't think I've ever found anything like that, ever.
All right, guys, we'll get back with you. Incredible spill.
Incredible.
Okay, and welcome to the wrap-up. Had an absolutely amazing hunt today. Was out hunting with Rick most of the day. Probably close to 8 hours of scouting and swinging and all that good stuff. And this is arguably my best hunting day ever if you're going to look at the finds from a value perspective. I made several good finds, but one amazing find, which is my best coin find to date by far. But anyhow, we'll go ahead and dig in. The clad, I got 2 quarters, 3 dimes, 1 nickel, which was a surface find, 3, 6, 9, 11 copper pennies, 4 zincs. I found this Merry Widow's condom tin around that big tree that I showed early on in the video. It's actually in pretty good shape. I ended up with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wheat pennies, and up until about the last half an hour of the day while it was getting dark, I only had 3 wheats. And toward the end of the day, there was a guy out in his driveway, and we knew his house was fairly old, not too old, but we were kind of running out of daylight, and we'd just taken a break and finished up another permission. And so we figured, I'd try to flag him down, and he ended up spending the whole time with us outside. We had a good time. I gave him some of my finds. I gave him a rose tag that I found and an old aluminum measuring spoon among some other things. But while we were there, Rick and I had stumbled on what's possibly some sort of wheat penny hoard in this about maybe 3 by 3 yard patch in the middle of the yard. It was a house that was built in the 50s. There was, I don't know how many wheats there were, but I dug at least 6 of them, and Rick dug, I don't know, more than I did, because he found that patch first and hit it fairly well. So I think he probably got maybe 10 wheats out of that spot. So we had maybe close to 20 wheats out of one little patch, which was kind of strange. There wasn't any silver in it, but one of the holes with 1 or 2 of the wheats, he also popped 2 nickels out of the hole. They were, I think they were both from the 50s. So it was like a little coin hoard. Or not sure how they all got there, but it was in just a little small patch. So that was interesting. But the wheats, I'm not going to go through them all. I just want to show the first one, which is, you can't really see it on there, but it's a 1942 S. And being on the East Coast, I like digging the S Mint coins. And all the other ones, most of the ones from that yard were in the 50s. Normally I dig more 40s wheats than the 50s, but most of these barely make the cut. Most of them go from 56 to 58 the last year. So, on to some other finds. We'll go over to the more relic type things. I found this old buckle in one of the yards. And that piece I didn't clean off. It was brittle and it broke when I was kind of rubbing it off in the field, but I think it was already kind of snapped when I had dug it out of the hole already. Some sort of old buckle. It's pretty neat. Never kind of seen one quite like that one. I pulled the zipper pull out of a hole, and it didn't give off a signal. I checked it with a detector, and it was this ring that was in the hole that was giving off a pretty good sound, and I think this had attached to there. I got this old, it's not a pin, I guess it's some sort of brooch. Actually still functions. Not quite sure how old it is. Yeah, it appears to have been gold plated at one point. It's a pretty neat find. Got this very ornate piece. It was kind of shaped like a maple leaf, but that's what I thought when I dug it. But not really sure what it's to. Appears to be aluminum. Very decorative piece anyway. Not sure what that would have been off of. No idea. I like it anyway. Just an odd cap I figured I'd show because it has a lot on it. Let's see. Revlon Products Corporation, New York, made in USA. Interesting cap. This, I just thought I'd show it. Rang up 1243. When I saw it in the hole, it was just this little edge sticking out, kind of like that. And I'm like, oh, silver dime. And no, that one kind of got me. I got a piece of aluminum. Literally a piece of aluminum. And I thought this was just going to be some sort of random odd piece of aluminum that had no meaning whatsoever until I cleaned it off. And it says Avdel on the other side. I've not tried to look that up, but I have no idea what that is. But interesting anyway. A couple interesting finds. I didn't even know this until I cleaned the finds up. I think it came out of the wheat penny hoard area. There was also a lot of 60s copper pennies mixed in with all those wheats that we had found in that yard. And I think this was there too, because it was getting really dark and I couldn't really even see a lot of the pennies that I was digging. But it's a Queen Elizabeth II penny, 1963. Pretty cool find. I got this token, which is really neat. It's from 1979. Really like this piece. It says Diamond Jubilee 75th Anniversary, New York City Subway, 1904 to 1979. And it says People Moving People. Really cool token. Really happy to have that. Now, down to the very good coin finds. And I can get a little bit more light here down on these. So, first buffalo I pulled out of the, let's see, the yard where I got the coins, the good coin spill, I had found, it was pretty much, it was all 6 of these coins right here. So it was a really good permission. And this first buffalo, I sort of had to damage the surface a little bit to see the date. It's extremely crusty. Now that it's dried, I don't even know that you can see it on there, but it is a 1936 buffalo nickel. It's a bit rough. This yard was very rich mineralized clay, and it was pretty tricky to lock into the signals. So it's a 1936 buffalo nickel. Hit 2 1941 silvers, which I thought was pretty neat because these were pretty close by to each other. I hit another silver from the opposite side of the country. We got a 1941 S mark. Beautiful condition. I didn't clean all these extremely well. I wanted to be careful with them, especially with some of the better ones. And I hit this 1941 silver quarter, which is in good shape, and surprisingly, it's actually a mint error. This is not damage. It has a little bit of some sort of split or crack, die crack in the rim, and I guess that would be part of the reason where it appears to be a cut error, where it has extra metal stamped onto the coin. So when I cleaned that up, I was very fascinated to see that on there. Very pleased with that find. Very uncommon. Beautiful coin. Just a great day on the numismatic items. I just am so pleased with some of these coins I was able to find. And now down to the best coin spill of my life. You saw it live, so we're going to get in and show what the coins are. This Walker thankfully ended up having a date, and as I assumed it was in circulation a long time. It's an early one. It is in 1917. Walking Liberty half dollar. Definitely seen a fair share of action. Hard to see the eagle on the back because you can clearly see where the buffalo nickel was stuck to it. So that's going to need a lot more cleaning. I just rinsed these with water. I might just leave it like that. I kind of like that. You know, a lot of character showing the story of when you dug it. There's my 1917 Walker. The buffalo nickel, which is a 1937, still has, which you pretty much never see on dug nickels, has a little bit of the original surface left on it. You can see it kind of gleaming through there. That's because it was pressed up right against the Walker, and this line running through it, where it appears like some like a root grow right through there, because that line's on the nickel, and it's also runs through the back of the Walker there. So something had grown between the two coins over the years. I thought that was fascinating as well. And it was like a layer. Just pulled up one coin, and each time there was a smaller one underneath it. So I was hoping there was going to be a half dime under this Merc, but no luck on that. The Merc's the same date as the Buffalo. It's 1937, once again with that yellow color and kind of staining. You can tell where it was stuck up against the Buffalo for a long time. As you can tell, the reverse is unaffected. That's the side that was facing the dirt. 1937 Merc. And the best find of the day, hands down, a 1921 key date standing Liberty quarter. So pleased with this. It is hard to find harder to find. When I say rare coins, I'm talking about maybe even more modern coins but have a higher numismatic value. I'm not talking about super old coins. Obviously, the further north and east you go, you're going to find more colonial era coins and things of that nature. But it's hard to find coins of low mintages and such, because simply for the fact that the Philadelphia Mint is the longest running mint in the United States, and they mass-produced most of the coins circulated in the country. So there's not a lot of Philadelphia Mint coins that are abnormally rare. Normally, the more rare coins have the Denver, New Orleans, or San Francisco Mint marks. So to find a rare Philadelphia Mint coin here on the East Coast, since like we normally find Philly Mint coins here, I'm very pleased to have this. I'm sure a lot of you have seen Dr. Tone's video recently. Out west, he dug up a barber quarter that sold for over $6,000. It was a rare S Mint coin. And finds like that, with the DNS mint marks, are more common out that way. So even though they don't usually find as coins that are as that old out that way, like you do in the north and the east, they can still find coins that are significantly rare. Now, I did a little tutorial on standing Liberty quarters quite a while back, and I can put a link to the description in that. I mentioned it before, and this is why you check your finds. I'm stoked that I could find one of these so I can show you guys for educational purposes. I could tell from the strike when I dug it, it was a pre-1935. They just changed the die strikes as they went with the standing Liberty quarters. But I'm going to see if I can get on here a little bit. But it's pretty easy to tell on the worn 1921 quarters. Right here, that little stick in the date is a 1. Then the last digit being a 1, it's the only year that a standing Liberty quarter ended with a 1. They started minting them in 1916 and they quit minting them in 1930. So there are no 1931 standing Liberty quarters, and there are no 1911 standing Liberty quarters. So even with all the other all the other numbers and the date worn off, as long as you can see a piece of this 1, that is a foolproof way to identify a 1921 standing Liberty quarter, and that's all you really need to see is that little vertical number, the 1. So there's no doubts on this. It's a circulated piece, but it still has good detail. I haven't looked at it much. It's decent on the beaded shield. It's not a very high grade. I've actually sold several years back. I sold a 1921 standing Liberty that I didn't find detecting. I sold it. It had a lot more detail on it. I sold it for around $700, but this one doesn't quite have enough detail on it, and normally when you can't read the full date on the bottom, it detracts from the people that want to buy it, so it hurts the value a little bit. But this coin, safe estimate, I could sell it for $200 with probably not too much hassle. If I waited for the right buyer, maybe pull $225, $250 out of it, but we'll call it a $200 coin to play it safe. Very pleased to have it. Previously to this, my best coin finds were a key date 21 Merc, and I found a 1897 Barber quarter that was in around XF condition. They were both around $50 coins. So I'm pleased to have this. It's my new best numismatic find. And I'm really stoked to have it. So I know I've been rambling on for a while, but I just wanted to share this amazing hunt with you guys and break down things into a little more detail. So thanks for watching, and I hope you're out there digging treasure.